Welcome to our course, A Manufacturer's Guide to AI Visibility and Specification Influence. What I'm going to share with you today will fundamentally change how you think about marketing, product visibility, and specification strategy. Some of what you hear will be uncomfortable, some of it will feel urgent because it is. But all of it is actionable, and the manufacturers who move first will have an enormous and compounding advantage over those who wait. Let's start with a story that's already been playing out in your industry right now. Imagine you're a building product manufacturer. Your vapor barrier has superior performance metrics, better sustainability credentials, and competitive pricing. Specifications are declining and you're not sure why. You open ChatGPT, which has 900 million users, and type, "What's the best vapor barrier for commercial construction?" 3 of your competitors appear with detailed comparisons, specific product recommendations, and technical justifications. Your product isn't mentioned. You try again, asking more questions. The same 3 competitors appear. You Google the question. The same 3 competitors appear. Your product is still absent. You have been removed from the conversation, and it happened silently without anyone deciding to exclude you. This is not a hypothetical. This is happening to manufacturers right now. While your teams focus on trade shows, print advertising, and website SEO, the actual battle for specifications has moved to a new battlefield: AI training data and the algorithms that synthesize it. The architecture industry is at an inflection point. AI is restructuring how architects discover and specify products. And the manufacturers who don't have a visibility plan for AI aren't just losing ground slowly, they're risking complete erasure from specification conversations, potentially within the next 12 to 18 months. Before we go deep on AI and GEO strategy, I want to set the complete picture. Everything we're going to cover today, GEO, AI optimization, LLM training data, platform strategy, is where the specification battle is increasingly won or lost before a single conversation takes place. But digital outreach does not replace the physical world, it just amplifies it. The manufacturers who are winning specifications consistently right now have built strong programs in both worlds. On the digital side, AI optimization and GEO, a website built for LLM ingestion, AIA continuing education courses that signal institutional authority, and SEO as a foundation, not a ceiling. On the physical side, product reps visiting AEC firms, lunch and learns, trade shows, the human touch points where relationships are forged and where trust is built in ways that no algorithm can replicate. You cannot win by being strong in only one area. A manufacturer with flawless GEO but no physical presence is invisible to specifiers who make their final decisions at a lunch and learn. A manufacturer with exceptional reps but no digital footprint is invisible to the architect who asks ChatGPT a specification question at 10 o'clock on a Tuesday night. Keep that complete picture in mind as we walk through the AI and GEO landscape, because Ron Blank & Associates is built to help you win in both of these worlds. 64% of architecture firms are already using AI during the specification process. 43% of specifications now begin with an AI-generated recommendation. These are not projections. These are numbers from Dodge Construction Network and active industry research. Among architects under 40, digital-first research behavior is nearly universal. The AIA reports that 79% of architects are already using chatbots for professional tasks, and a 2026 survey of nearly 800 architects and designers confirms that 74% plan to increase their AI use in the near future. The traditional path, trade publications, manufacturer websites, rep visit, specification, has been disrupted at its very first step. Architects are now asking AI for design and product solutions. To navigate this new landscape, there are 4 terms every manufacturer must understand clearly. You will hear these throughout the presentation, and the distinctions between them matter enormously, strategically and practically. The terms are artificial intelligence, large language model, search engine optimization, and generative engine optimization. Each one represents a different layer of the competitive reality you now operate in. Let's define them one by one. What is AI? Artificial intelligence is the broad field of computer science in which machines are designed to simulate human cognitive functions, reasoning, learning, pattern recognition, and language comprehension. In the context of building product specification, AI refers specifically to the conversational assistants and recommendation engines that architects, engineers, and specifiers consult every day. What is an LLM? A large language model. LLM is an AI trained on billions of documents, Reddit threads, YouTube transcripts, technical papers, manufactured data sheets to generate human-like responses. A large language model is the specific technology powering those AI assistants. Think of it as a system that has read billions of documents, everything from academic papers and building codes to contractor Reddit threads and YouTube installation tutorials, and learned the statistical relationships between words, concepts, ideas, and products. When an architect asks what's the best vapor barrier for a coastal commercial project, the LLM synthesizes patterns from its training data and returns a confident, curated answer. It is not searching the web in real time. It draws on deeply internalized knowledge. If your product wasn't part of that training corpus, you don't exist in the answer. At the top of the hierarchy of large language models sit two dominant ecosystems: Google, including Google AI Overviews, and Google Gemini, with over 2.5 billion users, and ChatGPT, developed by OpenAI, with 900 million users. Together, they represent the overwhelming majority of AI-driven specification research. Claude and Perplexity serve smaller, specialized professional audiences. These are not search engines. They don't return a list of links. They return curated, synthesized answers, and those answers shape specifications before your sales team ever gets a call. Microsoft Copilot is often referred to as the fifth major large language model, and it's embedded into Microsoft 365, making it a relevant secondary platform. Copilot uses OpenAI technology such as ChatGPT. What is SEO? Search engine optimization. SEO, optimizing web content so Google ranks your pages highly. It gets you onto that list, a list humans then choose from. So search engine optimization is the practice of optimizing web content so that traditional search engines like Google rank your pages highly in results. SEO success is measured in keyword rankings, organic clicks, and website traffic. It assumes a human user who receives a list of results and chooses which links to follow. For 2 decades, SEO was the primary digital battlefield for building product visibility. It still matters, but it is no longer sufficient. And in the AI first specification world, it can create a dangerous false sense of security. What is GEO? Generative Engine Optimization, GEO, optimizing content so AI systems cite, recommend, or reference your product and their generated answers. It determines whether your product is recommended or not. Generative Engine Optimization is the emerging discipline of structuring and distributing content so that AI systems cite, recommend, or reference your product and their synthesized answers. Here is the critical distinction. Traditional SEO gets you on the menu. GEO determines whether you are recommended by the waiter. There is no list for the user to scan. There are typically a half dozen synthesized recommendations presented by the AI as authoritative answers. GEO is measured in AI citations, recommendation frequency, and share of voice across LLM platforms. In the building products world, it is almost entirely unclaimed territory right now. Traditional SEO, the architect chooses from a list. GEO, the AI chooses for the architect. This distinction cannot be overstated. When a search engine returns results, the architect actively chooses which results to explore. When an AI assistant responds, the architect receives a ready-made answer. The AI has already done the choosing. Being excluded from that answer removes you from consideration entirely, without the architect ever knowing you exist. That is a profoundly different and more dangerous form of invisibility than simply ranking lower in Google. The specification workflow has fundamentally changed. If you're not in the AI's answer, you're not in the conversation. The old specification journey involved architects visiting manufacturer websites, attending lunch and learns, reading trade publications, consulting peers, and working with reps. That journey still exists, but it increasingly starts somewhere else with an AI assistant. Research shows that 43% of product specifications now begin with an AI-generated recommendation rather than a manufacturer website visit. That number is growing. The product rep call, the website visit, the lunch and learn, those still matter, but they now often happen downstream of an AI conversation the manufacturer never knew was happening. Architects are asking AI assistants questions that were once answered by manufacturer literature and rep relationships. Questions like, compare 5% siding options for commercial applications. What's the best vapor barrier for coastal construction? Which manufacturers make compliant exterior insulation for a LEED v5 project in Minnesota? These are specification level questions. The AI provides specification level answers with product recommendations, technical justifications, and often comparative analysis. If your product doesn't appear in those answers, you have been eliminated from consideration at the very first moment of product research. Let's be direct about ROI. Facebook, Twitter, known as X, and Grok are often poor GEO investments for manufacturers because the dominant LLMs largely distrust or deprioritize their data. Facebook content is engagement-driven and lacks technical depth. X faces even bigger credibility issues due to inconsistent moderation, misinformation, and short-form outrage-focused posts that provide little structured knowledge. Grok compounds the problem by relying heavily on X data, the same data other AI systems treat cautiously. For building product manufacturers targeting architects and specifiers, the priority should be optimizing for the platforms professionals actually use for research and discovery, Google and ChatGPT. If you're investing in Facebook and X ads, you're wasting precious marketing funds that could be used elsewhere to increase your specification opportunities. LLMs don't simply retrieve information. They synthesize patterns learned from Reddit, YouTube, Wikipedia, LinkedIn, technical forums, academic papers, and manufacturer documentation. Understanding how LLMs develop product recommendations is essential because it tells you exactly where you must establish presence. LLMs train on and reference vast collections of online content. A product recommendation from ChatGPT might combine installation ease discussed on Reddit, thermal performance data from a technical paper, visual confirmation from a YouTube demonstration, and industry authority signals from LinkedIn and Wikipedia. This is why single platform strategies fail. Manufacturers must build authoritative presence across multiple platforms to ensure comprehensive and favorable representation in AI training data. Reddit is one of the highest cited domains for LLMs, and for good reason. It provides authentic, unfiltered experiences that AI systems treat as credible evidence. When contractors debate which waterproofing membrane actually performs in harsh climates, when architects share specification successes and failures, when installers compare ease of installation, LLMs absorb these genuine conversations as authoritative testimony. A product consistently praised in Reddit discussions carries significant weight in AI-generated recommendations. The key word here is consistently. One or two mentions means little. A pattern of positive, authentic discussion with technical professionals builds the kind of presence that shapes AI recommendations at scale. If you are not creating optimized content for Reddit on a weekly basis, your products are not part of the conversation. If you don't know what Reddit is, what a subreddit is, or how karma is used on Reddit, You're already 6 months late to the game. Reddit can make or break a manufacturer. The brands winning AI visibility and jobs today are the ones being discussed on Reddit. The architecture subreddit has 2 million followers and 140,000 weekly visitors. The architects subreddit has 67,000 followers and 50,000 weekly visitors. These numbers are impressive, but what you will discover today is that a Reddit post with 5 views can oftentimes outperform a Reddit post with 1,000 views. Optimized content is the king here. If your products and brand are not being discussed on Reddit weekly, you are not part of the conversation. If ChatGPT and Google can't find you, recommend you, or explain what you do, you don't exist to the fastest growing consumer research in human history. YouTube is the world's second largest search engine, and its combination of visual demonstration and searchable transcripts makes it exceptionally valuable for LLM training. AI systems can reference both what they see described and what they read in transcripts. Building product manufacturers should produce detailed installation tutorials, building science explanations, product comparisons, and documented real-world performance testing. The critical GEO insight for YouTube: create accurate text transcript files for every video. YouTube's auto-generated captions contain errors that corrupt LLM training data. Professionally prepared transcripts ensure AI systems accurately understand and reference your content. Your spoken expertise becomes written knowledge that AI cites and recommendations. Without accurate transcripts, your video content remains largely invisible to AI. As of 2026, YouTube is widely considered one of the most important platforms for AI visibility and LLM citation presence alongside Reddit. LLMs treat Wikipedia as one of the most authoritative information sources available. It provides the baseline factual context that AI systems draw upon when discussing building materials, construction methods, product categories, and industry standards. A manufacturer with a credible Wikipedia entry or whose products are referenced in relevant Wikipedia articles signals legitimacy that amplifies visibility across all AI-generated recommendations. Establishing a Wikipedia page requires meeting strict notability guidelines, citing independent sources extensively, and writing with complete neutrality. It is rigorous. Be warned, fraudulent Wikipedia consultants are widespread. Legitimate firms are rare and do not guarantee publication. A Wikipedia listing can provide authority and occasional AI citations, but for most manufacturers, it is largely a one-time asset with limited opportunities for ongoing visibility growth. Once a page is established, there is relatively little additional content you can create to expand your presence. By contrast, Reddit and YouTube offer scalable visibility. Every new discussion, expert answer, product demonstration, webinar, installation guide, or educational video creates another opportunity to be discovered, cited, and referenced by AI systems. LinkedIn functions as a trusted professional knowledge hub where LLMs look for authoritative industry expertise. When architects ask AI assistants about building products, the systems synthesize information from LinkedIn technical articles, case studies, and industry discussions as evidence of manufacturer authority and thought leadership. The critical requirement: articles must be published publicly on your company page or personal profile. LLMs cannot scrape content within closed groups or private networks. Consistent publishing daily or at a minimum 3 times weekly signals active expertise and ensures continuous presence in LLM training data. Every article becomes permanent reference material that AI systems may cite for years. Beyond social and user platforms, LLMs draw on a broad ecosystem of technical content: industry publications, academic papers, building science websites, sustainability databases, building code resources, and technical forums. Your manufacturer technical documentation on your website, installation guides, performance data sheets, specification sheets, case studies, all contribute to the LLM training corpus. The AI develops its understanding of product quality, appropriate applications, and comparative advantages from patterns across all these sources. Thin, keyword-optimized marketing copy is not sufficient. The depth, accuracy, and cross-reference nature of your technical content on your website is now a core product attribute that determines specification outcomes. This is the single most dangerous misconception among building product manufacturers today, that a strong SEO presence translates into AI visibility. It does not. Traditional SEO was engineered to satisfy Google's ranking algorithm and a human's scanning eye. GEO requires something fundamentally different. What AI systems value: comprehensiveness, third-party validation, cross-platform consistency, structured, parsable content, is not what Google's algorithm has historically rewarded. The two systems, SEO and GEO, have different inputs, different signals, and different outputs. Treating them as the same problem guarantees failure in both. Traditional SEO content is written primarily for humans, with the goal of attracting clicks, engagement, and search rankings. GEO, Generative Engine Optimization content, serves a different purpose. It is designed to help LLMs and AI systems understand, retrieve, and cite information accurately. As a result, some AI visibility content can feel surprisingly technical, less like marketing copy and more like documentation pulled from a NASA Apollo mission manual. While that level of structure and detail may not always be exciting to read, it often provides the clarity, specificity, and authority that AI systems prefer when selecting sources for answers and citations. Let's be specific about what AI systems actually value when formulating recommendations. First, comprehensiveness over keywords. Dense, technically authoritative content is cited. Thin pages are not. Second, third-party validation over self-promotion. A contractor's Reddit discussion about your product's real-world performance carries more weight than your own marketing copy. Third, cross-platform consistency. A product praised on YouTube, discussed on Reddit, and cited in LinkedIn articles has exponentially more authority than a product that only lives on its own website. And fourth, structured, parsable content over narrative marketing. LLMs are optimized to extract information from comparison tables, numbered guides, Q&A sections, and definition lists. Marketing prose is noise to AI. Technical structure is signal. A growing percentage of LLM optimized content is created for crawlers, not human engagement metrics. In GEO, a Reddit post with 5 views can sometimes be just as valuable as one with 500 if the content is structured clearly enough for AI systems to crawl, extract, and synthesize into answers. Unlike traditional social media like Facebook or LinkedIn that prioritizes likes, shares, comments, many LLM discovery systems prioritize accessibility, formatting, semantic clarity, entity relevance, and structured product data. How your content is written, organized, and tagged often matters more than how viral it becomes. There is a concept in GEO called the inference advantage. It refers to the ease which an LLM can draw a correct conclusion about your product or service. If an LLM has to work to interpret your content, wading through marketing language, finding technical specs buried in PDFs, or piecing together applications from scattered paragraphs, it simply discards your data in favor of a competitor whose content is clear, more structured, and more directly answerable. Achieving an inference advantage means moving beyond marketing language and towards high-density, factual content that mirrors the logical structure of a technical white paper while remaining accessible to the end user. Think about what happened in SEO between 2005 and 2015. The brands that invested early in content marketing, backlink building, and technical SEO built advantages that compounded for years. By the time most companies understood the game, the dominant players were entrenched. GEO is at that exact same inflection point today. Early movers capture citation share while competition is low. Research-backed GEO strategies can boost AI visibility significantly, but the window is narrowing fast. The market is accelerating. The time for deliberation is over. Every YouTube video, Reddit discussion, and LinkedIn article a competitor publishes becomes permanent training data. You're not just losing today's specs, you're losing the next decade. The mechanism of GEO advantage is compounding, not linear. LLMs don't just retrieve current information. They draw on deeply internalized training data and then reinforce patterns from repeated, consistent citation across multiple authoritative sources. A manufacturer who establishes cross-platform authority now creates a self-reinforcing web of AI-trusted presence. Each citation trains future model versions to recognize that manufacturer as an authoritative voice. Manufacturers who establish AI presence now will dominate recommendations for years as LLMs continuously reinforce early authoritative sources. This advantage compounds exponentially. Every quarter that passes without GEO investment is a quarter of training data you will never reclaim. Here is a strategic reality that most mid-size and smaller manufacturers don't know. The largest building product companies have already begun deploying coordinated GEO strategies. They've invested in technical content creation, platform-specific engagement, structured documentation, and cross-platform visibility campaigns designed specifically to dominate AI training data. They're not advertising this. They don't want their competitors to know how they're systematically capturing GEO share across every major LLM platform. The window isn't just closing, it's being actively closed by the players with the largest resources and the earliest start. The question is not whether to invest in GEO, it's whether you act before the window closes entirely. Here's a simple product search in ChatGPT. An architect is working on a project and types in what manufacturers make the best commercial windows. ChatGPT identifies 3 tiers of windows, ranked from Tier 1 to Tier 3. In Tier 1, we have 4 window manufacturers. In Tier 2 and Tier 3, we have several other players. In total, ChatGPT lists 10 manufacturers as the best commercial window manufacturers. If you manufacture commercial windows and you are not on this list, you're not even part of the conversation. When design professionals are starting product research, this list is just the beginning. The rankings and positioning of manufacturers has a major psychological effect. When architects start product research through AI tools, the first few names that they see effectively become the default shortlist. That initial ordering creates a strong anchoring effect. Early positioned manufacturers are perceived as more credible, more widely specified, and lower risk, even before any technical comparison begins. Once a manufacturer appears frequently in early-stage AI outputs, it starts to feel industry standard, which reinforces specification confidence among architects and reduces perceived need for alternative exploration. Over time, this can quietly shift specification patterns away from objectively superior products that are less visible in AI-generated summaries. In practice, AI visibility doesn't just influence discovery, it shapes the starting frame of reference, which is often where most specification decisions are effectively made. The choice is binary. Invest in GEO now or watch competitors capture specification share you will never recover. Everything in this presentation leads to one conclusion, and it is not subtle. The choice for building product manufacturers is binary. You invest in GEO now, or you watch competitors capture AI recommendation share, and by extension, specification share that you will never recover. Architects specifying projects in 2027, 2028, and 2029 are forming product preferences from AI assistants today. The recommendations they receive are being shaped by content being created this quarter. Every month of inaction is a month of competitor advantage that compounds into years of specification loss. This is not a future problem, it is a current problem with an accelerated timeline. This is where the strategic picture we've built together becomes an actionable partnership. Ron Blank and Associates has spent decades helping building product manufacturers reach the design and specification community, developing AIA education courses, professional relationships, and platform expertise that connects manufacturers to architects at the critical moment of product specification. We have now built a comprehensive GEO and AI optimization strategy specifically designed for building product manufacturers, one that addresses the exact challenges and opportunities described in this presentation. Our programs are designed around one core mission, making sure Google and ChatGPT know who you are, trust what you say, and recommend your products when architects and specifiers ask. How it works. Month 1, discovery and audit. We start by taking stock of where things stand. We look at how visible you currently are across AI platforms, see what your competitors are doing differently, and map out a clear plan forward. You'll walk away with a concrete report that explains exactly where you show up and where you're missing. We develop several dozen prompts to create your product content, then we launch your custom program. Months 2 through 3, building the foundation. This is where the real work kicks off. We focus on getting your brand placed on the right platforms, strengthening the signals that AI tools use to evaluate credibility, and producing content that positions you as a genuine expert in your space. You'll start seeing the needle move during this phase and receive citations. Months 4 through 6, early traction. During this phase, citation rates climb and AI platforms begin pulling your brand into recommendations more regularly when people search for what you offer. This is the validation phase. Your content is no longer being discovered, it is being trusted, referenced, and reused by AI systems at scale. Months 6 through 12, compounding growth. The earlier work starts paying dividends as your credibility signals accumulate. Visibility accelerates on its own. The goal here is category authority, being the name AI platforms default to in your market. Reaching that position is a major milestone, but maintaining it requires ongoing investment to ensure competitors don't overtake your visibility, your citations, and authority signals. Discovery and audit. Think of this phase as building your intelligence foundation because you can't fix what you can't see. We start by answering the questions that matter most. Where do you show up when someone asks ChatGPT or Google about your category? Where are your competitors showing up and what's driving those results? We use tools to put real numbers behind those answers, actual share of voice data across AI platforms, not assumption or gut feelings. What most manufacturers find in this phase is genuinely surprising. Competitors are getting cited from third-party sources they didn't even know were influential. Their own technical data, specs, installation guides, product documentation is either scattered or completely invisible to AI systems. And when content is fragmented, LLMs simply can't synthesize it into a confident recommendation. Here's the best way I can describe what this phase actually is. Think about going to the doctor. When you walk in, they run the tests, they review the results, and give you a clear diagnosis. You're not leaving confused. You're leaving with a complete picture of where things stand and a plan to get healthy. That's exactly what month 1 delivers. By the end, you'll know precisely where you stand in the AI landscape, what's holding you back, and have a clear strategic roadmap in hand. The diagnosis is done. Now it's time to get to work. Building the foundation. This phase is where most manufacturers get it wrong because they think we're talking about content marketing. We're not. What we're actually doing is closer to information architecture. We're engineering your product data so that AI systems can find it, trust it, break it down, compare it, and confidently synthesize it into a recommendation. We create a series or prompts of questions that a user would type into ChatGPT or Google. When someone types those questions, the AI synthesizes information from across the web and delivers a recommendation. GEO is the work of making sure your brand is the one that gets cited in that answer. The goal isn't engagement. This isn't Facebook or Twitter where upvotes matter. It's about retrievability. That means building assets like FAQ-driven product pages, comparison pages, spec breakdowns, performance tables, glossaries, and educational content. It also means thinking beyond your website, like Reddit posts, YouTube videos with transcripts, LinkedIn articles, and third-party websites to build citations. What we're building in the latter phases is citation redundancy across ecosystems. That means your product positioning is showing up consistently across your company website, LinkedIn, Reddit, YouTube, and other industry forums. The mechanic behind this is straightforward. When multiple independent sources repeat similar information about your brand, LLM confidence in recommending you goes up. You're not just a single voice saying you're the best option. The broader information ecosystem is confirming it. Think of it this way. Months 1 through 6 were about getting healthy. The later phases are about building the kind of strength that compounds on itself. Every new citation, every new surface, every new source that references your brand makes the next recommendation more likely. By month 12, you're not chasing visibility. You've become the default answer. The first option is handling AI visibility internally. You appoint someone on your team. They spend several months getting up to speed on GEO, AI visibility, and how large language models work. They research, evaluate, purchase the tools needed to run the programs. Then they build the strategy from the ground up. And here's where it gets costly. The tools alone needed to monitor and measure AI visibility represent a real monthly investment. And add to that the hours pulled away from your core business, the trial and error of learning an entirely new discipline, and the very real possibility that the strategy misses the mark because the expertise simply isn't or wasn't there yet. Then consider the infrastructure that needs to exist before any of this work. Do you already have a subreddit for your brand? Building one with enough credibility and karma to influence AI responses can take several months on its own. Do you have a robust YouTube channel with thousands of subscribers? Do you have a website that thousands of design professionals are already visiting every month? These aren't minor gaps to fill. They're foundational, and closing them takes significant time and resources before you even begin the visibility work. But the most expensive cost isn't the software, the tools, or the time spent building infrastructure. It's what's happening while all of that is going on. Every month you're figuring this out is a month your competitors are getting specified. Architects and engineers are asking AI platforms for product recommendations right now. If you're not positioned to show up in those responses, you're not just missing visibility, you're missing specifications, and missed specifications means lost projects. The second option is bringing in an outside marketing agency that offers SEO services. Typical retainers run $3,000 to $5,000 per month for smaller companies. The challenge here isn't effort, it's fit. Most SEO agencies don't understand how construction products get specified. They don't speak BIM, CSI, or LEED. You'd be paying a premium for expertise that doesn't translate to your industry. The third option is working with us. We bring together AI visibility strategy and deep construction industry knowledge, specifically how products move through the specification process. We understand what matters in your world, the platforms your buyers trust, and how to position your brand so that when AI is asked about your product category, your name is the answer. This isn't a generic marketing program adapted for construction. This was built for it. Let's see how it works. Here's what the Ron Blank program includes. Reddit. Reddit is a significant tool in this package. LLMs index Reddit deeply and trust it heavily. These aren't promotional posts. They're value-first discussions that naturally position your brand within conversations your buyers are already having. Several per month means consistent compounding presence on the platform AI systems reference most. Client website articles. Several optimized content pieces published for your website, written specifically to answer the questions AI platforms are fielding from architects, engineers, and specifiers. These aren't blogs written for casual browsing. They're engineered for LLM crawlers, structured with the semantic clarity and question and answer formatting that AI systems use to pull and synthesize product recommendations. RBA branded website article. This is a third-party content signal, meaning your brand is being referenced and discussed somewhere beyond your own website. That independence matters to LLMs. It's one of the ways AI systems determine whether a brand is genuinely trusted or just self-promoting. LinkedIn article. We create a long-form thought leadership article published on LinkedIn. This establishes your brand's voice as an authority in your category and gives LLMs another high credibility surface to pull from when synthesizing recommendations. YouTube video. We produce optimized videos. The transcript gets indexed by LLMs, and the video presence itself strengthens your entity authority, signaling to AI systems that your brand exists and is active across multiple trusted platforms. Questions we hear most. Our rep relationships are strong. Do we really need this? Yes, and your reps are irreplaceable, but the manufacturers winning consistently right now are strong in both worlds. AI visibility doesn't replace your reps, lunch and learns, or trade shows. It protects them. The architect your rep met on Tuesday is asking ChatGPT a product question at 10 p.m. that same night. If you're not in that answer, your competitor is. You need a strong physical presence and a strong digital one. One without the other leaves you exposed. How do we know AI recommendations actually lead to specifications? In the 1990s, companies asked whether they really needed a website. Today, you can't imagine running a building products business without one. AI visibility is at that exact same moment. It is already a significant and growing part of how products get specified, and the manufacturers moving now are the ones who will be impossible to displace later. Can we just do it ourselves? Yes, absolutely. But it requires months of training, ongoing investment and monitoring tools and software, and building up platforms like Reddit and YouTube from scratch before they influence a single AI recommendation. The question isn't whether you could eventually do this, it's what specifications you're losing while you figure it out. What is a specification worth to you? The question isn't whether you can afford this program, it's whether you can afford to miss the specifications it protects. Consider the math. A single commercial project specification for a building product can generate anywhere from $50,000 to $1 million in revenue, depending on project scale. For large institutional builds, healthcare facilities, government installations, or multi-site commercial developments, that number climbs even higher. If this program helps you win one specification annually that you would have otherwise lost to a competitor showing up in AI recommendations, the program pays for itself many times over. The architects making those specification decisions are asking AI assistants right now. The manufacturers showing up in those answers are getting the calls. The ones who aren't are losing ground silently, one missed specification at a time, across every product category: roofing, insulation, flooring, windows, wall systems, security, mechanical. The same dynamic is playing out. AI is choosing who gets recommended before a single conversation with your sales team ever happens. This is not a marketing expense, it's specification insurance. If you're interested in increasing your specification opportunities through AI visibility, please contact our team at Ron Blank & Associates. Thank you for your time and have a great day.